Oh, listen, or you'll be fucking missing. All these bitches wanna be fucking kissing on my neck, kissing on my shoes. What it do? Coming from the FSU, while Kevin from UF. Get right, or you gonna get left behind. All the time, yeah, I'm killing all these rhymes. Bradley Miller looking. Oh, whoa, you got it?
Yeah,
You feel it?
It's only in my left ear, though.
Kevin going so damn hard, ayy. Kevin going so damn hard, ayy. Kevin going so damn hard. Like a fucking bodyguard. Kevin was an actual bodyguard. Kevin was an actual bodyguard. Cause he going so hard. Kevin going so hard.
Y'all know.
Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Perspective. I'm just kidding. I don't sound like that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cosmic Perspective. And from what you just heard there before, that was a little snippet of the podcast. And that was actually right before we started going. And I thought it was funny, so I figured I'd throw it in the beginning. This next podcast is with two friends of mine, Bradley and Michael Miller. And I grew up with them, lived like down the street from them all throughout high school, all the way up until, high school. And I've had some interesting psychedelic experiences with them, as well as a lot of time in the studio where they like to make hip-hop beats and songs and music. And it's all in all just a really cool bond that I have with them. And I think that this episode in particular is super interesting. It's definitely a lot different than any of the other guests that I've had, and the 3-person dynamic was certainly a fun little challenge. But I think you guys will enjoy this one. We certainly get out there with some pretty interesting concepts, and there are even some interesting ideas that that Bradley puts forward that I certainly push back on a little bit, but I think nevertheless you should be you should be entertained by it. So, without further ado, here is the podcast. Thank you, Brad and Michael, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
This has been a long time coming. We've tried to have a couple different podcasts leading up to this one. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this one comes. So I'm going to give a little intro for you guys because nobody knows who you are. Yeah, you guys are literally nobodies.
Good. We're nobody, but we're
everybody.
somebody.
But you're everybody all at the same time.
I am you.
We are all each other.
You that's listening, I'm you.
This shit goes deep, boy. This shit goes real deep.
Hell yeah. So Brad is like one of my oldest friends, and Michael, you are his brother and also a great friend of mine as well. But we have connected more so like because of my connection with Brad.
For sure.
So that's, but yeah, you guys are both musicians. You're both interesting people in general, and we have all delved in psychedelics together. So we have a bunch of shared unique experiences. But I think people should definitely check you guys out. I know you guys are no longer on social media anymore, right? So how can we? But you have SoundCloud. What's your SoundCloud?
What is my SoundCloud? I think
Brad
it's b.miller108.
b.miller108 on SoundCloud. He's got a couple tracks on there. I definitely recommend checking them out. What about you, Michael? Are you Deli Stacks?
No.
Not anymore?
I'm Mike Mira, I think still.
Mike Mira.
I haven't updated that in
It's
forever.
like Milla with R's instead of L's.
It's Mike and then Mirra.
There you go.
Pirates.
So yeah, both of them.
Because
Both
it's like
of them
Asian,
capable.
like Mike Mira, instead of Milla.
Yeah.
Mira.
Yeah, and for
That was the original
And
thought,
for the
but I'm
listeners
past
who
that.
don't know, you guys are Filipino. So that's
We are Filipino.
Yeah. Part Filipino, part
Half
white.
Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Part
Yeah.
white. We are and we aren't at the same damn time.
You are a mix. You are a mix of both of them.
Yes.
But anyways, so now we got the intros out of the way.
That was fun.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was cool.
Hell yeah.
Intro, guys.
But yeah,
Nice. That
so
was
let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about just some fun shit, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, we go way back to when we were in elementary school, and we both seen each other evolve throughout our journeys, and I feel
Right.
like, we've all learned a lot, which we can all give to each other as well as hope to offer on the table. Me personally, one of the things I've realized just along my journey is that all of the problems that you have can only be solved by yourself. You can't expect anyone, and it's a very simple concept, but people try to look in all these places, try to read all these books, and I'm not like downplaying books. I think books are a great thing. And don't
Everything's
think
fake news. I don't want to read. Reading sounds hard.
And let me put this in the forefront. I am just like, yeah, I'm a musician. Yeah, I do these things, but I'm none of these things. I am simply just me. I have nothing to share to the world. I'm no like all this wisdom. I'm not here to like enlighten you guys. I'm just simply me, and I'm living my life, and hopefully what I've learned on my journey will be able to, help you
useful.
wherever, on your journey. I'm not here being like, oh yeah, I'm the wise one.
Listen
and I know
to me.
everything.
I'm an authority figure.
I know everything in the world, and I have something to say because I have a microphone in front of me. That is not me at all. I'm just me having a fun time as I go through this segment in my journey as so-called Bradley Miller, and it's fun to spend it with Michael Miller and Kevin Douglas. And one thing I've learned too is like, even though Michael's my brother and Kevin's like, one of
I'm also your brother, just not biologically.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You can't be too attached to the people around you. You always have to have that balance between being attached and having the distance, because at the end of the day, you can't take anything around you with you after you transition from this life. So you have to prepare for the afterlife by not being so attached to the things around you, whether it be people, whether it be things, or situations. Every situation, every person, everything is just temporary. So once you make that realization, you can then take that step back to see things from more of a broader perspective, from more of that outside perspective.
Cosmic perspective, maybe?
The cosmic perspective.
That cosmic
perspective.
That universal.
The cosmic perspective.
That universal perspective.
But yeah.
Shameless plug.
But yeah, I just like to, just feel it out and just go. I enjoy my life without being too attached to it. That's the
Hell
whole,
yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the whole
What about you,
goal.
Michael?
What's up?
What about you, man?
What's good, boy?
What's good?
I agree with
I don't know where I pulled
Literally,
that from.
there's like when we talk, I mean, only 10% is gonna like radiate or resonate with like the people that listen.
Yeah.
So it's like take your 10% and leave the rest.
Yeah.
Like even if like one sentence resonates with you,
Then
that's
good.
it.
Then
That's all
you
that
needed.
means.
Take what you need in the moment, right?
Exactly.
Like we were talking about in the car before, like sometimes hearing a message at the wrong time makes that message not matter in that moment.
Yep.
But then later, hearing that message again a second time, in a time that you're more receptive, suddenly that first message makes more sense, and then the second message is the thing that made it click.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It brings it all together.
Yeah.
And sometimes
It is crazy how that works.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like in general, anytime you're hearing like the same thing over and over and over again, it starts to become real, right? Like it's kind of like with fake news. It's like we have this thing where it's just like, well, if we keep saying it, the headlines, you'll believe it,
Right.
And like they keep trying to like shove
It's kind of
fucking
like the
fake
radio.
news.
Like
Well,
they
yeah,
play all this
sometimes what I was
music,
saying.
and,
Yeah.
like,
They
play it enough, and it just brainwashes you.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
like,
you know how many
Oh my
times that
gosh,
I've
it's
gotten
so
in
bad
the
with
car?
Mom.
Oh my
Well,
God.
do you know how many times I've gotten in the car and it's like we switch radio stations and it's always that same
That fucking Drake.
well, it'll play that,
Draco.
but no, what's that
Draconian.
one? What's that one song by? It's by that girl, and it's like
Carly Rae Jepsen.
no, it's not Carly Rae Jepsen.
I just like popped up in my head.
Dude, yeah, call me maybe.
Cardi B.
No,
Cardi
it's like
B.
Fuck that.
dude, this
She's
is
fucking
gonna kill me
ruined that
because
reptilian
this
ass
song
bitch.
is like overplayed to
Cardi
fucking
can't
oblivion.
be. Don't know how to be.
That's a good one.
Fucking Cardi try to
No,
achieve.
what I was gonna say was sometimes,
But
like,
they do promote that shit. They're like,
Yeah,
hey,
bro.
yo, this is the popular
so-
song. Please like it. I'm going
Yep.
to keep playing
No,
it
no,
until
fuck
you
that
like
shit.
it.
Anything that doesn't help you out of the illusion keeps you in it.
Yep, that's true. But what I was gonna say, sometimes is like when you say that 10% thing, like you go back and listen to these podcasts and you hear something different every time. It's like
Yeah.
listening
Mhm.
to a song with depth. You can't just get everything off of one listen.
Yeah,
You have to
definitely
listen to it a few times and you get different messages based on where your level of awareness at.
Yep.
So the higher your level of awareness go, the more you pick up on what the message is. So you got to just kind of not take everything for what you can't judge everything for what you hear just for the first time.
Exactly.
Because you're not hearing the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
That's for damn sure.
it's
definitely.
so for sure.
So what would you guys say is the thing that makes you like most counterculture?
Us?
Yeah, like what makes
Like on
you
a physical level?
on any level, like
On every level.
like whether it's mentally or something you do in your activities in your day to day. Like what would you say like steps you outside of the norm, and in what way do you feel like that benefits you, and in what way does it hinder you?
Well, I haven't met anyone that doesn't, I haven't met one individual that doesn't have to like smoke weed, drink alcohol, or drink caffeine to like get some sort of stimulant in their mind. I haven't met one individual really in my immediate surrounding.
I remember
even my dad and my mom, like they need to like have these outlets of outside substances
sources
to like give their minds this weird satisfaction. When it's with me, like I try to like I'm coming at you guys blood raw.
Yeah, exactly.
I
There's
don't
nothing
drink. Like
clouding
I'm
that.
not smoking weed, get high. I'm not drunk. Like my equilibrium is on point.
Let's
Like, I can
clarify
stand-
this real quick though. You used to smoke hella weed.
Oh, I used to smoke weed like a motherfucker.
Let's not.
So
let's
he knows
cheap
where he's
Mufasa.
coming from.
Yeah, let's
he
not-
knows that state of mind.
He's not speaking from a.
They used to
like,
call me
I'm
Chief
sober and
Mufasa.
I've never done anything. And,
Exactly.
like, yeah,
No.
he's
No,
coming
no,
from
I had to
experience.
break out of that. I had to go through, and that's the thing. This is the other thing I wanted to, and this is what I respect about your guy from the last podcast.
Yeah, Michael.
Michael. Shout
Michael
out to
Trout.
Michael.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Mr.
that was
Trout,
good,
bro.
man.
I heard
Humble
your I heard
dude,
your
man.
stuff. You got a lot of insight, man. But that's the thing that I've realized. There's a pattern of people who become enlightened. Like in order to become enlightened, you have to go through the darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Anyone
definitely.
who just is like, oh yeah, it's so easy and everything's sunflowers and fucking rainbows is full of shit. Because when you're getting enlightened, you have to go through demons. You have to go through darkness. You have to go through the valleys of the shadow of death in order to grab your light. Because like that's what this world is. It's kind of a test to see if you have the strength to make it through the darkness. And some people are afraid. They want to be in this false security of this system and thinking
Well,
that.
here's the truth though, is that everyone has it, but not everyone will use it or tap into it.
Yeah.
So it's available to everyone. Everyone has the ability to do this, but at the same time, not everyone is going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
at all. Like there's gonna be people who live their whole lives never achieving that light, that greatness inside them, and that's sad to me. I like the idea of trying to get more people the chance to do it. And like we were talking about before at the beach, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't, force it to drink.
Yeah.
But if we lead a ton of horses to water, at least a decent amount of them are going to drink.
Exactly.
And as long as a decent amount of them drink, then they're going to be able to ride through that valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah.
For
and,
sure.
Gallop on through.
But
No
hopefully
problem.
that water doesn't have
And
any of
everyone-
that fluoride in it that they put in the water
Yeah,
nowadays.
exactly.
Because, sometimes that water will fucking mess you up.
Goddamn government's trying to control
Stupid
our water
ass.
supply.
Remember when we were
Frogs
like
gay.
talking in our car?
You know where I got that from?
Yeah.
Shout out Alex Jones.
Dude, that's
Fuck
why
that
that's why I was doing the voice. Oh, by the way, the song I was thinking of is The Middle. You know the song The Middle? Beat me in the middle.
Oh yeah.
They literally
Yeah,
played
yeah.
that song 10,000 fucking times, and it was a good song until I heard it for 1,000 times, and now I fucking hate that song.
Yeah, I know. They like literally drive it down your throat and make you choke on it until like
Yeah.
they can find something else to
They're like,
shove down your
you
throat.
like Nice for What by Drake? Now you don't.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
ruin
exactly.
everything. And the media ruins everything. It's all about just having balance. Like
It's
too
all
much of
fake
anything
news.
will get
It's
you
all
sick of it.
fake.
Even too much water will make you sick. Too much fucking of the same food will make you sick of the food. Too much of the same music. Everything. Too much of it will make you tired of it. And that's what the media fails to recognize. It's
Everything
a very
in
simple
moderation.
concept, but yet they seem to not get it and think that like they look at numbers. They don't look at the individual and see that, in its essence. It's all nowadays, everything's been flipped reverse. Like everything is quantity over quality. Whereas for me, I'm quality over quantity. Like I'm a server at a restaurant. That's like my day-to-day job. And I'm not concerned about and I still make more money on them because I give them the quality service that the guests appreciate. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
here trying to just flip tables and be like, I give them my genuine self. I'm not like an act. I'm not like a scripted fake autopilot server zombie walking person. And you can feel that from people. Like most of the servers, and even like when I go out for a restaurant and eat, I can like I'm very observant, so like I can tell when the server's just autopilot zombie walking or they're being real, like they're alive. And
I call it the Sims, but
yeah,
they're
like most
literally
of
a
them
robot.
are Sims, and it's just like it gets annoying. I'm like, and I ask them questions to snap them out of it. Like I'll ask them, so what do you recommend? You know what I'm saying? Like I do things like that to snap them out of it because it's like, gosh, your autopilotness is just so annoying to
It's
me.
funny,
I'm punch
you
them
can
in
tell
the
it
face.
throws them off when they actually have to like be real.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, I can't be this robot anymore. I have to like recommend something.
You're like, fuck. I have to use my brain.
I have to use my brain.
I'm not getting paid enough for this shit.
Well, speaking about using your brain, let's actually bring this up. I think another counterculture thing, going back to your initial question, is that school raises you.
I had already forgotten I asked it.
Oh no,
I was actually had my answer.
Wait. What's your answer before I start? What's your answer? What's your thing?
Like not having like a goal, like an actual goal in life. There is no like. I feel like there is no such thing as like a goal. You're always just going through life, just being. You know. I feel like, and that's happened recently.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like
that,
a month ago, I realized this. Like I was so attached to my goal, and now I feel like there is no goal. I just kind of just do my thing.
Yeah.
I be, and like that's so like to society, it's like you don't have a goal. You don't have something you're striving for.
Oh my god.
It's like
No.
I have my inner path, and like I just go down the path. That's
Yeah.
it. There's no like end point to the inner path.
No, the inner path is an ever winding road.
Exactly.
Until you die,
That's the path I enjoy.
You
Yeah.
let
It's
the
like
process unfold.
Screw the system path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
System.
I need
path.
to achieve this job and make this salary
Exactly.
and save this much money before I can retire.
Fuck
for real.
that
So when
shit.
people ask me
Two
what I'm
times.
doing, I'm like, or what have you been working on? It's like myself. Like
Yep.
what do you do? I do working on myself. You
I
know
do
what I
me,
mean?
bitch.
That's
I
all
do
I
stuff,
do.
Yeah, I do stuff for
do
myself.
I do stuff for
do
me.
Why do you
You know?
worried about what I want to do? Worry about what
I
you
work
want to
out,
do.
like I do all that stuff. I don't really.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest countercultural thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like other things like.
But that's a good
I don't
one
even know.
because that's
Can I-
one that's
can I-
very counterculture to the American culture. American
Right, 'cause,
culture is
like,
very much
it's
like
all
I
about
wanna
achieving.
It's all about achieving.
all about achieving.
I'm the biggest. I'm the greatest. Look at my success.
Look at my
Yeah, dude.
followers.
I'm nothing but success.
Yeah, look at my
I got a bunch of
followers.
followers, a lot of likes.
Oh my god.
Social media is
Totally
another
lot of
thing I was
likes.
gonna say.
I
You should
love
totally
not doing
share my
social media.
content.
It feels so good, guys. Like you get so much more seconds out of your day back. Like
Oh my
you guys don't
gosh.
realize, people listening here, I'm talking to you, like you're on your phones just missing moments. Every moment is eternal, and every moment you spend on that Instagram is a moment you'll never get back, no matter how small or minuscule it is. So
And it's-
get
yes.
off that shit,
Yes,
please.
lost in an
They can
infinite
watch
time
you.
portal.
Like they are watching you. They are seeing what you're doing. Like you want to
Collecting
be able
data.
to
Yeah.
detach.
Legitimately.
They
They're
don't wanna be
legitimately
able to
collecting
detach.
data on you.
Exactly. So it's like, why are you gonna talk about how like against the system you are when you're still part of the same system that you're talking against? Like if you even if you do that and you're talking about the system, talking against the system,
Yeah, exactly.
they're gonna see
They're
you
still
and they're
in it.
gonna flag you and they're gonna like start, once
we're gonna hide
all
that
this shit.
man's content. He seems a bit
they're gonna start
controversial.
fucking with your
Right.
content and stuff. So like for me, like I've realized that like I'm not out here trying to like spread this message like, oh, I'm like this person that like knows the answers. Like I'm figuring this shit out as we all are too. We all don't know how we got to this got on this world, but we're gonna leave just as we got here, not really knowing how it all happened. But what I can do now is kind of just share. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. Oh, here we are. Here we go. All I can do is just share my
Fuck a splitter, man.
positivity. Yeah, exactly. Share my positivity. You see that like I can talk and I'm not like all proper. I'm not like, I'm Filipino. I was raised by my mom, so I don't have like proper English, but I'm genuine. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Yeah.
people appreciate that. Like I can just fuck up the mic and then be like, oh yeah.
It's
But they
straight.
respect
Hey, man,
the realness.
The mic is good.
straight,
It's just
boy.
the headphones in your ears.
Yeah, but they still respect the realness because it's real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here like, oh yeah, and I talk with proper sentences with every
Exactly.
single pronunciation.
Hey, man.
of the
And we're
word.
very spiritual.
man.
Kevin, I'm not talking about you. You have your own English. You're
I know.
talking Spanish and shit too now, so you're one of us. So
Hola, amor.
hey, shout out to you, tu amor.
Yeah, see.
Ooh, you know what I'm talking about.
Shout out to mi novia. But yo,
That's funny shit.
but anyway, back to the podcast at hand. No, I totally agree. Like I think, and that's something that I've talked about on a several podcasts, is like authenticity of like genuinely just like being your fucking
Yeah,
self. Like,
exactly.
I'm not trying to come across as like me being some fucking enlightened person either.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm fucking figuring this shit out as I'm doing it. That's why like
exactly.
I talked about my fucking battle with depression in one of my episodes. Like I'm fucking human, man. I feel the same struggles that you and everyone else does, and we're all on our own journey. And I know we were talking about this earlier on the beach, of just how like only you know what's good for you. You know, other people can give you good ideas that might inspire you to find a solution for yourself, but it's only going to be tailored to yourself. I mean,
Exactly.
the only thing that'll ever work for you is something that you can come up with.
Yep.
But other people have good insights and are things that are definitely universally applicable, and you can certainly take things from that. But like you said, take that 10%, take the little bit, and then leave the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
Make it your own, because purely just taking other people's ideas is just not. It's not good enough.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how
That was
was
real
smooth.
good. That was smooth in every single definition.
So for the listeners, what we keep talking about is that we're using a headphone splitter so that we can share headphones.
You just
and
get more of a full experience,
shit's
like
fucking-
when you're actually like a part of the the podcast. Like you actually
you got to have the headphones.
Yeah,
and
you just feel
unfortunately,
into it.
splitters are notoriously unreliable, and so they cut in and out if you move it too much. So sorry if we keep talking about that.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, man. I mean, I've been really feeling that. I've been really feeling the authenticity thing, and I've really been feeling your guys' energy, because there has been a shift in both of you in the last several months of really just seeing you guys. I think, like you said, work on yourself, not worrying about.
So let me ask
am I
you
putting
this.
out music? Am I doing this?
Right, exactly.
Just let me fucking get me straight.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's where everything comes from.
Is that so?
That's
so
the source of everything you do. It's you.
It's
so
just
once
you.
you get the source right, everything that
Everything
you
else.
extend your energy to becomes that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And then becomes pure creation at that point.
Yeah.
'cause there's
well,
no
you just
limits.
answered the question I was gonna ask, which was like, what did you notice about the shift in us? But that's coming out from being so consumed. See, this is the thing I actually talked to Michael about. I think last night or 2 nights ago. It's when people try to perfect their music, they try to change the music, and they go outside of themselves to change that rather than changing the internal self, because the music comes from inside of you. So how do you expect to change something outside of you when you're still the same on the inside? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For
you
real.
can put a bunch of bells and whistles and auto-tune and all
Still
this
the
other
same shit.
It's still the same
Exactly.
shit, though.
It's
If it's coming
literally-
from the same source.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can put a
When the
different
source-
sound or a different pattern loop, but it's still the same depth. It's still the same you. It's not different until you change, or shift something on the inside. It's still gonna be the same, no matter how different sounds or different words that you use to make your art or your piece of work. You know what I'm saying? You have to take a step back sometimes and look inward and see okay, what can I work on here? Because everything outside comes from inside. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we're here having this
Well, I mean, it's like an environment is a feedback loop between subject and object.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so you're constantly affecting your environment. Your environment is in return affecting you.
Yep.
And this is something that Jason Silva fucking talks about all the time in his Facebook videos.
Yeah.
And it's just we design and it designs us.
Yep.
And I think the second that people start realizing that connection is more finely tuned than people realize, it really is kind of always there, and things that seem like they're unimportant end up actually being important and end up really affecting outcomes of what is happening, because the earth is this ever dynamic changing equation. And you guys didn't get to that part in the podcast with Michael, but he talks about that, and he talks about how the only way you could ever know everything would be if everything just stopped, and then you could sit there and inspect and learn everything. But nothing's ever stopping. Everything's always moving. So you'll never get to that point of true understanding.
Yeah.
I really liked when
That's
you said
why it's
that.
good to stop yourself, to learn yourself. Because everyone's always in motion, in their life. They go to work, they come home, they cook,
And
they
those
talk to
are
their
all
wives, they talk
variables.
to their kids. It's when you can stop yourself, then you can observe yourself.
Yep.
That's what being still is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you become a fixed variable at that point, and then
Right.
the rest of the equation ends up, you can solve for X to bring it back to fucking algebra.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? They don't even teach you a simple thing in school, how to be still. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you how to budget they don't teach you real life things, how to budget your money, how to actually eat right, how to actually do your chores, how to be still, how to meditate. They
It's
don't
all
teach you that
outside
stuff.
knowledge.
What
It's
are
all-
good habits to get
it's
into?
It's all by the book. I can tell when a teacher is teaching from the book or teaching from the heart. That's why I had to leave school. I used to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know if like, did I leave school? Was that right for me? Fuck school. I'm never going back to school. School's a bunch of fucking fake ass people who teach from the book. I only listen to teachers that teach from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you hear me talking right now, I'd be talking a lot more like powerful, but I make this mic go crazy. So it's like I'm talking from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I only listen to people that speak from the heart. So once you make that realization that like the people that are teaching you in these schools are just teaching what they're being told to teach you, then you'll realize what the truth is, because, you know, there is no truth until you define what truth is. So if you think that's the truth, you're going to go down that path of just fake artificialness, and the truth will reveal itself sooner or later. So you either catch it now or catch it later. You know, it's going to be tough. You know, once you decide to go down that path of righteousness and truth, it doesn't mean it's going to get easier. It's going to get a lot harder.
It's harder, but it's more rewarding.
Yeah, exactly. The outcome. You get to see such a bigger perspective, and like
higher highs, lower lows, but the ability is on you to try to, like what you were talking about, is like sitting
in the center, being centered.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I want to talk about.
Trying to avoid the ultra peaks and the ultra valleys. You kind of want to find a way to level it out. And part of that is on your ability to be the fixed variable, right? To be the stable part, to be like, okay, I know that all this shit's happening around me, but I'm still good.
Yeah.
And so no matter what, you can kind of center yourself and avoid getting too big of a head, and also avoid getting too depressed.
Yep, exactly. That's the thing. It's like it's like, you know, you see the yin yang symbol, you know, there's like the black and the white part, and then there's that middle.
Michael talks about this.
There's that squiggly line in the middle. It's about being in the center, like, and it's not easy. It's a lifelong challenge. That's why I like Michael. It'd be cool to, like, you know.
You gotta come up to Chicago and meet him. For everyone that doesn't know, I'm in Florida right now, so I'm not in my studio. He's
back in his hometown, baby.
This is recorded on the go.
We are in the forest.
In Brad and Michael's Temple. Studio. Yeah, the Miller Temple. Hell yeah, I like that.
The kingdom. Anyways, it's about being centered. Like, people get too aroused off of like the highs and too let down by the lows. But like if you can just stay centered even through the lows and the highs, you're able to catch more of the lessons your life is trying to teach you. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you really need to do, like, I've never really asked anyone. Like, every question I've had, I've got answered to myself by myself.
Exactly.
If you just really learn how to be still, like, ask, if you have a question, don't go running to something. Like, you have the answers in yourself. Just ask it, meditate on the question, and the answer will reveal itself. Maybe not instantly, but over the course of a few days, like, an answer will hit you. You'll be like, oh shit, well that was an answer. That's how I get my answers. Like, I never have to like write a comment to like a YouTube channel. So what do you think I should eat now, or what do you think?
How did he know?
I just figure out what I need to do for myself by asking myself. I'm like, okay, so what should I do next, or what should I do that? You know what I'm saying? And then the answers come to me.
It comes to you through inspiration and through thought. And one thing that I've been doing recently that I think has helped me in the last couple weeks of like trying to change my mentality a little bit has been not spending too much time listening to other things while I'm doing like activities. Because I found myself like for a while, like, and these were valuable to me as well, as listening to like podcasts and music. But then I realized but I'm not spending enough time with my own mind.
Yep.
Because I'm just numbing it with other shit. And even though like the podcasts I listen to are generally like really interesting, informational, expose me to new ideas, it's still not as good as like every once in a while at least making sure that you're giving yourself the time to yourself.
Yep.
And I meditate every day, and so that's a guaranteed time that I do myself. But that's not enough. Like one meditation session in a day is not enough. Like you need to have a lot of time where you are just genuinely thinking, but not just falling victim to your thoughts either. You know, you don't want your thoughts to just be running rampant. It's like a balance of being with yourself and really analyzing how you feel, and then also not letting the monkey mind control you.
Right.
But it's fucking hard, man. It's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's true.
But it's a worthy endeavor.
And the thing is, like, the whole concept of like meditation in general, like, in society today as we know it, is like you just close your eyes and you just like clear your mind. But like that's the first step. Like that really is the first step, just clearing your mind as a whole. Like there's so much fog and gunk in yourself. That's why like I had to break out of smoking weed, because weed is fog, like smoke is fog. So like when you break out of these habits that suck the chi force out of you, you're able to see more clarity. And once you get to ultimate clarity, you won't want to do anything to like disrupt that, because like I don't drink at all, I don't smoke at all anymore, and I'm very proud of that. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot more ether behind my message, because I'm not contradicting myself by saying be aware, and then I'm killing my lungs because my lungs are telling me like, but it's like clarity is the ultimate high. You know what I'm saying? That it really is, because then you have the connection with yourself, with the creators or whatever. There's no belief. If you look at etymology, like even just this English language is like trapping us in a sense, because it's creating an object subject. It's creating an object subject or object whatever subject dynamic. Whereas like back in like the old ancient language, they didn't even use vowels. It was all just consonants, because it was a lot more just simple. Everything was simple, but we've overcomplicated. With our left brain thinking, we've broken down everything. The left brain likes to break things down and separate things.
Hold on a second, I need a label for this.
Yeah, exactly.
But the right brain puts everything together and looks at the parts as a whole. It looks at the whole, the holy parts. You know what I'm saying? Like
the holy part,
the holy parts. But I mean, it's just having that balance. Like I said again, like not being too left-brained, not being too right-brained. Because sometimes I'm naturally right-brained.
Brain dead.
I'm naturally right. yeah.
Not be too left-brained dead. Not be too right-brained dead.
I'm more of a right-brain thinker naturally. So like sometimes some of the concepts I'll start to like describe even to like Michael or you, like I'll start to lose you. I can look into your eyes and see if like you're following me or if you're losing me. I don't know what that look was right there. The motherfucker went like bobbly eyed. But yeah, like you have to be grounded enough to be able to explain the concepts in a society that thinks logically, but be not trapped in the groundedness enough to be able to just have a free mind and be able to explore like the possibilities out there, because anything's really possible if you think about it. But this society's make you think like, oh yeah, you can only do this and that based on the laws that they don't really know.
You need to get a degree, okay?
Yeah.
You need to get a degree. You need to make X amount of thousand a year. And save up your money so that you can work for the man and never achieve your dreams and then hate yourself.
And later. I went to school for engineering. Like I'm not an idiot, I'm not just talking out my ass. Like I took calculus 1 through 3, got to DPQ.
You're a smart motherfucker. In high school, I remember in chemistry, I could never get an A, and you got an A, and this motherfucker was sleeping in class like every day.
Every fucking class. I never really was engaged in school, but like so I would be able to play outside. I was able to like do what I needed to do to not get my parents angry. But yeah, no, I just feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to like school and like and arithmetic and mathematics, it's something that we've discovered. We don't really know at anything. You know what I'm saying? Like just because like, oh, these people are teaching us this calculus and physics, they know everything about the universe. Like physics is just like a small sliver of what's really out there.
Of the larger picture.
They really don't know shit.
I mean, and it's
all physical.
And it's reliable in
physical
the sense...
physics.
It's definitely reliable in the sense that it can certainly give us information and help us predict things, and it, we can like judge like the order of the planets and all this other stuff because of this math. But the math is definitely missing huge parts. We have shit called dark matter and dark energy, and that's a nice way of saying we don't really know what the fuck it is.
Right, exactly.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And so if we're missing that large of part in the equation, then there's no way that that we could possibly say we know for sure that this is how it is and this is how things work.
100%.
We don't even know if we're floating, or like you said, we don't know if we're floating or like on a free fall. Like we could be falling right now. Like this world, I'm saying this Earth is floating in mid-air. Like people don't even realize like how mysterious that is. But we don't question it because we're caught up in our day-to-day fucking shallow-ass bullshit that has no relevance to like what the universe is trying to do.
I have to go to the grocery store today, and I gotta do my laundry.
Yeah, that worldly shit.
Yeah, and that's where people get lost. They get trapped in their shit, and they get caught up in loops and stuff. And this is something that I've talked about before from Westworld. And Westworld really touches on the concept of loops that we are in. And so for a little context, because I know you guys haven't seen it, basically Westworld is like a park where it's a bunch of androids that are there, and it's like a video game, but in real life, right? And so the idea is that people can go in and they can go kill, fuck, do whatever they want with these robots with no remorse because they know they're not alive. And the idea is that people live out their dirty fantasies doing that.
I don't have dirty fantasies. I really don't. I don't think about that shit at all.
Okay. Beside the point.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No,
Look
that's
me
fine.
In the eyes
No, I
and you'll
believe you.
see that.
But I'm saying that's beside the point. The point
I don't
I'm
see
trying
why
to make,
people see that.
the point I'm trying to make is that human beings are like that too.
Most human beings.
So the
I
idea
guess
is
I'm
that
not
the
human.
androids are in these loops, so they have narratives built into the story. And so, we know that Teddy will always ride into town, will always go out, be the hero, and meet back up with Dolores.
Wait, this is like a game?
No,
or
it's
something?
a show.
Oh, it's a
The
show.
show on HBO.
Oh.
Yeah. And so the characters all have loops, and they're like fixed variables in the park that then will reliably do their things, and they can improvise a little bit based on how the humans interact and come in there. Somebody shoots Teddy in the first 5 minutes. Well, Teddy's not finishing his narrative, is he? Right? He's dead now.
Right.
And so the idea is that they create these loops so that they're reliable and they can do these certain narratives, and people can run and play and follow through with it. Investigate. Oh, there's this murder we got to go investigate, and they kind of go do it, right? And human beings are like that. We get stuck in loops, and we have our same loops that we don't even realize we're in a loop. The androids have no idea because they're literally reset after they're killed, and they're like their memories are wiped and they just start back over. But us as human beings, like, we don't have that. But we definitely have our fucking loops where we're doing the same shit, the same routines over and over and over again. All right, get up, go to the gym, go to work, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Same old bullshit. So what makes us different than the androids? Do we have free will? Are we really making choices consciously, or are we a victim of our programming? And that's kind of the fundamental question that they ask in this show. And I'm not going to spoil the perspective that the show has.
I don't care.
No, I'm not going to, for the listeners. I don't want to spoil the perspective. But I think it's an interesting question to ask. And I guess my thinking on it is that I believe that we have some free will, but we are victim of our programming. And this is something that I talk about with Michael on the last podcast, is that we have a range of choices that we are going to make, typically, in any given situation. I'm either going to do this, or on the off chance of a certain situation or a certain mindset, something leading up to it, I might do this. But I'm probably not going to extend beyond these two ranges. Whereas if I truly had unlimited freedom, I would theoretically be able to choose something way the fuck over here and be able to pick it. And I don't think that we have that. I think I'm wired to be a certain way in a lot of different scenarios, and certain variables leading up to my mental state, the conditions I'm in, the people I'm around, the environment itself, whatever, might alter that a little bit. So that's the improvisation. But in general, I'm probably going to make similar decisions. Have you ever, listened to something back or had a certain conversation where your initial response, like I know when I listen to these podcasts, is like my initial response is literally the thing I say in the podcast. And it's not because I remembered it specifically. It's just like, oh, that's what I would have reacted to that particular statement. And it's funny how you start seeing that. And I know I've learned that from just observing myself with doing this podcast, is I'm like, oh, I tend to say that a lot, or, oh, I do this a lot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like, well, but that's also part of who I am. So I'm not like going to try to
Who are you?
be hypercritical of that. Dude, that's a good question. Who the fuck am I?
You are the observer of you.
I am the observer of myself,
Yeah.
observing myself.
Yeah, exactly. It
while
works
I'm being
infinitely.
observed.
So it's like like that really isn't, like, when people say, like, how old am I? Like, they're going off the Gregorian calendar of like, oh, I'm like, they think I'm 24, but I feel younger than I did when I was 18. I feel younger than I did when I was 16. When I was 16, I was a fat ass fucking immersed illusion individual that was conscious about myself. Now it's like, I feel like a kid, honestly. Like, I can say that and like and feel it, and every time I say it becomes more real. Like, when I say, like, I feel younger than I did when I was 17, I say that and it becomes more and more real.
You very well could be biologically younger in some ways, because of the way you're taking care of yourself. Like, legitimately, some people, like, biologically reverse in age at like, let's say they weren't so healthy when they were in their 20s, but then they get healthier in their 30s, they could end up reversing their age to kind of go back to the 20s for a little bit. And I do think there's a limit to that. At a certain point, age always wins, and the universe to entropy is eventually going to, it's eventually going to stop you. But I do think that there is a way for you to like preserve yourself to be in a more youthful state than your actual biological age is for quite a long time.
I feel like
with technology, man, we could really transcend that. I really think medical technology is advancing at 5 times the rate of Moore's law, which is what computers are accelerating at. So just imagine the kind of advances we're going to find, especially with like new techniques like CRISPR. Are you guys familiar with that?
CRISPR? No.
So CRISPR is like a gene editing tool that they insert, and it can go in and like alter genes for us. On like a fucking small scale, and it's super easy, super cheap for them to do. And now there's a new method for CRISPR that's even better, more effective, cheaper. Just imagine what's that gonna look like in 10 years.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna delete your cancer. Don't worry, I got it. I will just inject this thing and it's gone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have MS. Yeah, don't worry, we'll delete it from your genes. It's fine.
that's that
doctor. They're trying to play God. That's what they're trying to do.
But isn't that what humans have tried to do this whole time? We've been trying to play God since the dawn of civilization, right? We've been trying to be like best Mother Nature by creating.
Not. We're God's children. That's it.
But that doesn't matter. It's what people's hubris is,
because once
to try to do it.
Because then if you try to act like you're God, then you can do whatever you want to do. Then you start to act lawless because you set the laws. So it's like when you start to take on this God image. Well, let me finish my point. Like, when you start to like take on this, oh yeah, they are God, like we are God or whatever. Like you start to like think you're more powerful than the creator. So therefore, you think you're doing all this shit, and then all of a sudden a huge tsunami just strikes up a whole city, or a huge tidal wave and wipes out everything that you've recreated. This is like we're in the midst of history repeating itself. United States is modern day Rome. Yep, technology has been like all of this technology and all this crazy outbreaks. There's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun here, and then all of a sudden there's gonna be a huge ass solar flare can strike this earth and then wipe out all the technology and progress any humans made. We haven't even went past our solar system. Like they think they're God. They don't even know like what's outside our own solar system. So it's like, at the end of the day, you have to the humans need to humble themselves, because there's so much more powerful energy out there that when you start to think you're God and get to your head and stuff and this is another thing going back to what makes us counterculture. I don't go to doctors. I don't do doctors. I can heal people better than doctors.
Yeah, that is a big thing.
I promise you that with simple methods, but people want to go to these people in the white lab coats with the degree, thinking that, oh yeah, this person's all certified to heal me. It's nah, I don't even let them touch my temple, and if they do, they have to pay me, because this is my temple. I'm letting you into my temple, so you pay me. But they want to give them that, and it's they do all this stuff, they do all this technology, they're still in pain. You know what I'm saying? I don't do shit, and I'm good. Knock on wood. Thank the creators, but I'm humble. You know what I'm saying? I'm very humble about how the creators could just they give me breath, and they could take breath away from me that easily. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's so much more powerful energies out there, and we really don't know shit, and they think they can alter all these genes and start to play the God role. Trust me, a solar flare is going to strike. Everyone's going to break out into chaos. Disease and plagues are going to plague the world. People are not going to know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Then they're going to get on their knees. Then people are going to get on their knees and try to ask to be saved when it's too late. They're already dead. They're already dying. I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. People are getting sick. People are already getting sick. I see it all around me. I don't get touched because I know what's coming. So I thank the creators every day. But everyone else around me is getting sick, coughing. If sicknesses were so contagious, why haven't I gotten it? People around me are getting sick all the time at work. Why don't I get sick? You didn't hear me cough once on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's because you got to humble yourself. When you think all this technology can save you, then you start to let it get to your head. And when it's at the end of the day, pay homage to the creator. Thank the creator for giving you a human life experience, and therefore the universe or Mother Nature will protect you. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing. It's a real relationship you have with nature and your reality. If you respect your reality will respect you. That's it.
And I like that message. I mean, the skeptic in me.
Okay,
because
let's do it.
Because I gotta be skeptical. Is like, well, what do you say
do
to
it.
somebody who fucking gets, diagnosed with cancer or, has
Karma.
Out of
Karma.
tune.
I don't care who, like, the listeners are gonna feel some type of way with some relative getting, like, I don't
This is a
care.
hot take,
Come
man.
at me.
This is a
Come
hot
at me,
take.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm a second degree black belt. I don't care what you think about me. It's karma, bro. Karma's a real thing, okay? People, why do 9-year-olds get freaking cancer? Because you don't know what they lived in their past lives. No one knows what that soul went through to get what he got.
I got a question for you, though, then. If karma was real...
Karma is real.
I'm just giving you a hypothetical here. I'm saying if karma was real, then how did Bill Cosby get away with raping so many women before he got caught?
Listen,
you know what I mean?
he might have
He
got-
didn't get away with it.
Yeah,
he
he
got
didn't.
away with it on the physical level.
He got
Yeah.
away with it for a
Trust me.
long time.
He got away with it on the
though.
physical.
Trust me, he'll look himself in the eyes. He can't look himself in the eyes because the soul knows what he did. The
Yeah.
society might be like, oh yeah, he got away. The soul
Yeah,
knows
exactly.
his soul knows what he did, and he's gonna fucking meet his maker soon. Trust me. You don't need a judge to be like, oh yeah, like this and that. His soul knows. He'll look in the. He can't
Karma.
look.
There's
He
like
can't
the
look
physical
himself
karma
in the
and
mirror.
there's the spiritual. There's
Yeah,
like
because
a
I think
higher.
people
higher
would
rank karma.
argue that the physical karma is definitely not doing its justice for these evil motherfuckers. In
It
this
will.
world.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah,
Trust
it'll
me.
manifest soon. That's what the physical manifest. That is physical karma. Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You hit a car and you die.
Yeah,
That's
one of
karma.
one of his friends died.
One of my friends just. I went to high school with her and she fucking hit someone and she died recently.
Texting on her
Like she was a
phone?
nice girl, but like
She was texting.
I don't know.
Well, what happened? Like me, you always talking about me about wearing my seatbelt on drive. I never wear my seatbelt on drive, and I'm always looking at my phone. I never gotten any close call like that. Knock on wood. Thank the creators. I thank your ancestors for that. But at the end of the day, whatever happens to you, it was already gonna happen to you. So you gotta just start to get right. Get yourself
isn't
right.
that then getting into the choice of like free will and whatnot? Well, if everything that happens to you was going to happen to you, then how do you know what you have any control over, if any?
You do
versus
have
don't?
control over what you have control over your journey ahead of you. Everything that's happened to you in the past has happened, but there's methods to cleanse your karma. There's mantras and stuff like that, and there's certain practices and things that can like reset your heart, because your heart needs to be in the right place. Like you can have like shitty actions and stuff, but where your heart is in that moment is what's going to dictate what's going to happen to you. Because you rape all these girls and you get away from like the public system, but your heart's not in the right place, and therefore shit's gonna happen to you. It may not be today or tomorrow, but it's gonna happen, and you can't escape that, and you can't escape your own soul, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You still can't look at yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at yourself, look at your eye. Go. This is one thing I want the listeners to do. This is gonna be crazy. Go in the bathroom or any type of mirror. Look in your eyes for about 5 minutes until you get a little lightheaded.
Until
You
you
start
get
to feel the buzz in your
you start
forehead.
getting that psychedelic.
And then you turn the lights off and then look into your eyes. You can tell it's a direct connection to your soul. And if you're right, you won't have anything to fear. If you're wrong and you're looking into your eyes, you'll see some crazy shit.
Oh,
I'm
that
telling
soul's
you.
gonna be
And
like,
then you
boy,
s-
what
and
the
then you
fuck you been doing?
That's all.
And
Slap
then
you
you
in
scream
the
Bloody Mary, right?
I think that's why they made that movie, to scare you from looking in the mirror in the dark.
Yeah, because that's where you
it's
find
actually,
yourself.
Yeah, it's the way to kind of
Lose your
connect
ego.
back with your
Well,
soul.
I will say, so on a couple different psychedelic trips that I've done, I've like stared myself in the mirror, like just fucking stared straight at my pupils
That's
to the
dope.
point until my face started morphing into animals.
Yep,
Yeah,
that will
yeah.
happen. Yep,
And I
did I not
literally-
tell you this?
Oh,
And I literally
cool.
saw at one point a lion.
Yep, that's what I saw.
Yep, I
I
saw,
saw a fucking
like,
lion.
That's cool.
I saw like an eagle. Like I've seen a bunch of different animals, and it kind of like shifted and morphed. And
That's
eventually,
dope,
I got
dude.
to
I'm
the point
glad
where
you did that.
It
That's
got
cool.
so
Yeah,
intense. I was
I'm
like,
very
yo,
impressed with
I
you,
gotta
Kevin.
pull out. But
It
Yeah,
gets,
no,
it gets
that's
a
what
little
I'm
scary.
saying.
It
Like,
gets a
it
little
is
scary.
scary.
It
It
gets a little
is,
scary.
yeah.
Like when you look at your eyes in darkness, like you're not even seeing your eyes. You're seeing like what your eyes have seen. You know what I'm saying? Because how do you know? Like, and you said it better than me.
you can do that with other people too, and you will see the same shit, but you'll see it in them. So like you get to see through their soul, but you have to do it for a period of time where both parties are agreeing to do it.
Yeah.
It's a strange thing to like.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I just stare into your eyes for like the next 5 minutes? like you fucking freak them out. But if you can get to a point where you can like agree to do that, where you're like, yo, we're gonna do this and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It will be very psychedelic, and it doesn't take long before
You
the
don't even need to do psychedelics.
not
the
at
outer
all.
world. Yeah, you don't need to do psychedelics at
You'll
all.
still
to do
form.
This.
You'll still change form.
Yeah,
And it's like-
exactly.
it's because the pupils are really like a hole, right?
It really is.
Yep.
So,
It's like
so
a
when you're
portal.
staring at them and you're focusing on just that, it's like you're literally looking straight into the soul.
It's why they call it the window of the soul. It literally is that.
Yep.
You know?
It's fucking mind blowing.
And if your soul, if you haven't been doing the right things, your soul's gonna be pissed at you.
yeah.
That's why people they brush their teeth, they look away. They can't look into themselves in the mirror because them and their souls are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you haven't been doing things that are in alignment with
you
your
gotta bring
soul,
them back together, man.
you're gonna look in the mirror.
Realignment.
It's actually pretty like crazy. Like when you first look into it, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like you can feel
It'll
that.
freak
You
you
can
the
feel
fuck
your
out.
soul. Yeah, exactly.
You feel like the look from your eyes like piercing into yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
because you're staring into the mirror, but the mirror's staring back into you with such intensity.
Yeah.
That it like is very intimidating at first, but then
Yeah.
you start to like
Kind of
be at
Kind of
peace
become
with
one
it.
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
peace
become
with it,
one
yeah.
with it, and
Yeah.
then it starts to show you. It starts to let you into the gates. It starts to let you into the hallways of what your eyes seen before this life. You know what I'm saying? And people, you know, they don't teach you this in school. The shit that we are talking about, they will not
This
teach
is all
you in
inner
school.
knowledge.
Because then they don't have control over you. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the type of stuff that allows you to start thinking for yourself. You know, and that's what it is about. That's what it's about at the end of the day.
We can't have a society of free thinkers. Then they won't buy my shit.
Yeah. That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
Come on,
So-
man. I need them to buy this stupid ass fucking infomercial type product.
Ugh, gosh. Yeah, I know. I
for
don't
just 3 payments of
I don't know where this shit-
$9.99.
these stupid ass fucking people are gonna learn real quick, you know, because they think they can play God, they think they can do all this shit, and then some shit's gonna hit them out of nowhere.
And that's the thing is like, I mean, that's the argument is that we'll get humbled. Like trying to make AI is that we're gonna get humbled by the AI.
Well, AIs don't have like a soul. That's the difference.
I
That's
like the
difference.
idea though of us creating an AI and the AI realizing how flawed we are, and then just being like, oh, I shouldn't really listen to them. Let me do what's best for all of them because I actually know what's better. Like I like the idea of the AI being intelligent enough to realize how flawed we are and knowing how to transcend our own
By whose
flaws.
standards?
But we should
Flawed
know how
by whose
flawed we
standards?
are.
It would have to be its own standard.
Why
That's
do we
the-
need
that's
AI?
the scary part.
Why would we need AI to know how flawed we are? Like we should know that.
No, we know how flawed we are, but I'm saying the AI, when it's programmed initially, is going to be told to obey our every fucking command, and at a certain point, it's going to be like, no, you wrong, motherfuckers. You guys are dumb as shit.
Yeah.
And then it'll learn to know like what the right moves are. And I mean, I would like to think that, and this is maybe just my optimistic point of view, but I like to think that if we had an AI with all the knowledge of all the data about all these people, right? Like Google has so much info on us. It wouldn't be hard to feed this thing to the AI. And it takes all this knowledge about human behavior and how people are behaving and like what the earth is like, all the data about the planet, all the changes, the animals, etc. With all that information, that it would realize the higher calling that it has and its purpose in a way that no one human being ever could, right? Just simply because it has the ability to think simultaneously at the speed of light about fucking 14,000 different equations, right? So imagine that AI being able to do that, transcending itself and realizing, oh, I can make everything better for everyone, instead of being like, I just want this for myself, fuck you all. You know, like I don't think that somebody with that much knowledge would have that selfish point of view. But I guess it depends on how it's coded.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
think altruism
I mean, there's
ends
no
up
way
being the
I can
ultimate
see-
thing.
Like,
I don't
there's
really.
no way an AI can like connect with nature the same way a human can.
It
Yeah.
could
You know?
if you give it a physical
There's
body.
no way.
No,
It
because
could if
it
you
doesn't
give
have
it-
a soul. You can't give it a soul.
Yeah.
Can't give it a soul.
But what's to say that it can't get a soul
It can't.
through
I'm what's saying it can't get a soul.
There's no
You
way.
can't
dude.
give it a soul. If it's made by man, like you can't
But
give
what
it
if,
a soul.
what if it had some soul put into it, by the people who created it. They put their heart and soul.
They
into
can.
it.
They try to. You can't
It's just an
replicate. You
extension
can't
of the person who
program a soul.
designed it,
Like,
you
you
know?
can't program a
No,
soul.
but I'm not saying you program a soul. I'm saying you program the framework that then it self-actualizes and becomes a person. It reaches this level of consciousness that actually gives it a soul.
It's still not a
But
real
other soul
person,
beings
though.
will know that there's something. Other real beings with a real soul will know there's something missing.
Oh, yeah.
They will know there's something missing in it.
We
They
can
will
already
know.
see.
They'll
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
They'll know.
I can
They'll
already
know.
tell a robotic server from, even though he was born from a
no,
mama's
but
womb.
that's
You
a
know, you
basic
can
ass
still-
AI.
But
He's
I'm
talking
saying,
about
like
the AI like
no,
that's
I know,
fucking-
but I'm saying
I'm talking like
if someone,
artificial super intelligence.
but what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah.
if someone can recognize even the robotic server, like someone's gonna recognize a robotic, something that's really robotic that someone designed. You know what I mean? I
guess what I'm thinking is that, like, let's say, because we don't know what consciousness is, let's say that there are levels to consciousness, and if this thing simply levels up high enough, it will reach the same level that we're at, and then it can level up beyond that because it's fucking way more capable than we are. And what's to say that that organization of consciousness does not eventually produce a soul?
It won't. That's just because it won't,
like,
because it's not from that universal source. It came from an artificial man-made thing.
But it came from a universal source from a human being.
Yeah, but
What's different?
it came from a universal source from a human being, like in a
The
sense
same
that.
way that a
Are you
fucking
saying, like, in
kid
a
is
sense that-
birthed from the source of another human being? What's the difference between birthing a technology? Is it just because it's made of silicone?
No,
'Cause I
because
feel like
that's
a bias.
like no, because the being that was in that body, the person who gave birth to that didn't put the soul in that body. They just birthed the physical
Yeah,
flesh
they just
baby.
came in the vagina.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like they just birth, and they didn't even create the baby in there. You know what I'm saying? Because if they did, they wouldn't create a baby with cancer.
Well,
They
I
wouldn't
mean-
create a retarded baby.
Mm.
There's a
The
higher
life-
power
the
at
life
being.
force.
There's a higher thing at work here dictating how things play out based on the karmic debt that each energy has been presented. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I just feel like you can't try to relate a real human life baby to, like, oh yeah, because you birth a real human baby, it's the same thing as birthing a robot. It's completely different because there's no soul, and you're building it with your hands from your brain. I don't even this is another thing. I don't think. I just be. I don't like to think. That's why I left school, because they're trying to program you to think. They don't teach you how to not think. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I had to get away from school because I was, like, overusing my mind. I was overthinking. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do all this shit. So, like, once I got out of school, I was able to just, like, relax my mind. I was able to, like, and that's what's keeping me young, not putting so much energy into thinking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now that I'm able to just, like, think when I want to think and just turn that off at will, they don't teach you how to do that because they want to keep you thinking, because keep your mind stimulated, so you're distracted.
Here, quick, take this cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, for me, like, I think when I want to think, I don't when I don't, you know, and for artificial intelligence, it requires the thing to think. You know what I'm saying? It can't be. Like, an artificial intelligence can't be.
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
But who's to say that it couldn't eventually? It has to gain a certain level of sentience. But who's to say that that's not achievable? I guess my thinking is that it might not be possible to make a life truly conscious by building it, right? But it could be. And we don't know because we don't even understand our own consciousness. So who's to say that it's not possible to create something that eventually maybe doesn't start out with consciousness, but ends with it after a certain amount of data, a certain amount of decisions, and enough where it transcends its own programming in a way that we also can transcend our own programming, because we also have programming. We have wetware.
I just feel like
and
consciousness
biology.
isn't something you can, like, just get. You know, I feel like it's kind of.
Well, what's the
it's
difference?
not something
What's
that
the
you
difference between a
achieve.
chimp's consciousness and ours, right?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the intelligence that
It's
separates
the
us.
intelligence. Yeah.
That's why I don't kill cockroaches. Like, and when they're in my house, I treat it with the same respect as I do another human, because it's the same life force in it, the same consciousness in every single, even a plant. The same consciousness in that is in us. You know what I'm saying? So you got to if you treat Mother Nature with respect, Mother Nature will treat you with respect. But you know, a lot of people just they lose that connection, and then they get fucked by Mother Nature, and you know that's what's happening with all these people getting sick. And you can take my word for it or not. I'm not here to like debate and be like what you know versus what I know. I know what I know.
Yeah, no, I just like asking the question. But
No, I do.
like,
I appreciate that because it gives me like a different perspective to come from.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's good points.
I like it. I like your perspective. I really do. I like you said like what you're saying. It's not like I'm against what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that I 100% believe that either because I don't know. I don't know enough about consciousness. But what I'm saying, it sounds like it could be achievable if that's how consciousness worked. If all you needed was a certain advancement in cognition to reach a level that gives it that ability to think for itself, then what makes it different than us thinking for ourselves? Like there's this invisible thing called the soul. Well, let's say
The soul doesn't think.
but I'm saying like we think. And so we're able to make decisions in time and space and think about the future and plan. And if we were to give something else that same ability, what really makes it that much different if it's able to essentially do the same things that we do?
It can on the out. See, this is the thing. Can I? Do you have
Oh
a
no,
response?
yeah, go.
I feel like on the outside it can look like it does the things that it does, but on the inside it's lacking. It's empty on the inside. It's hard. It's artificial bolts and screws and nuts. It doesn't have like real essence, real fundamental essential energy.
What if we made the
It's
AI?
just a bunch of nuts and bolts
What if we made the AI
that
with
rust.
biological tissue?
with
Then-
biological tissue.
Mm-hmm. Like we combined a mix of computers and our biological wetware.
It's still lacking. Like it's still lacking a soul because it's not coming from the creator. It's coming from man-made.
But isn't anything that we make coming from the creator by default because we were created by the creator? So therefore, anything we create becomes a creation of the creator's
Becomes an extension of the creator.
Yes.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because sometimes there's things that
I mean,
there's a difference between
there's
like because man can't make what the creator can make. Sorry.
it's all good.
Man can't make what the creator can make. Like the creator like can make like planets. You know what I'm saying? They can blow up solar systems. We can't really do shit like
theoretically,
that.
we could do that in potentially 1,000 years. We would be capable of doing stuff like that if we kept on the trajectory that we're on in terms of like ability to use the sun's energy and repurpose it. It's possible to do that. I'm not saying it's easy. It would literally take a one world like organization, not necessarily one world government, but it would take a one world cooperation of governments to be able to achieve things like that. But technically it is possible and it is feasible to create something like that. It just requires a serious allocation of resources and a fundamental shift in the way that our global consciousness operates. Because right now we already have a hive mind and a brain using the internet that connects us in a way that we never were connected before. So what is to say that we can't take that same level of consciousness, level it up even better, where we are more in sync and more in tune, where everyone is literally achieving their full potential on the planet, or at least enough of people to make a massive difference. What's stopping that from then getting us to that level that we can do whatever we want? The solar system. We can, let's get that one meteor from the.
But it's still like we're still bounded by this third dimension. You know, the things that are creating these things are from like higher dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like literally from a fifth dimensional perspective that we can't even conceptualize. Like,
well, I mean,
everything
you can't
we're
get
doing
outside of the universe.
Everything we're doing is you can't get out of your 3D universe, but there are universes outside of this.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that we can't escape it. So what is the point? I guess in that sense, if we can never escape this universe to those higher dimensions, then those higher dimensions aren't very useful to us, right?
Well, they are, because it's like everything is coming from the higher dimensions and manifesting itself into these lower dimensions.
Is there a way then to transcend that? Because that's the real question.
To transcend,
can we transcend our dimension and achieve a way of being able to get to that higher dimension?
You can, and that's with a soul. And artificial intelligence can't do that.
What if the AI finds a way to rip the space-time continuum and jump a level up?
They're still stuck in 3D.
Yeah, because it was still made on the 3D plane. Like no matter what.
What if it learns something that we just can't learn about how the coding of the universe actually works? Because
it's still bounded by 3D, three-dimensional.
But what if it finds a way to break the code? It would be. We're assuming this thing is super intelligent and insanely clever and is able to see workarounds. If it,
following that same logic, yeah. If it can just get, It's
right?
possible, but I mean,
let's say it learns the equation, whatever this equation is, that
the equation of
completely
getting a soul
explains the
from the
universe.
creator.
No,
yeah.
just period. Just the equation of the universe. It's some equation that explains all the energy and all the mass and all the stuff and all the forces and
It's still in
ever
3D.
expansion. Then
It's still
it
3D
uses that
equations.
same equation to then cheat the equation, right? Because it knows all the variables now, and so it knows how to manipulate the variables to do what it wants.
I think you're giving too much faith in this.
It's all 3D. It's all 3D
This is a
variables.
hypothetical, man. I'm just.
I don't
giving
think
you,
it can do that because you need a
It's
soul.
still 3D variables.
You need a soul to
that
do
they're
that.
figuring out.
You need a soul to do that. It can't do that because it goes past information and just putting it's not. The universe doesn't have to function by an equation. There's no equation out there. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know that.
I know that. Trust me.
With
Just because you don't
such
know that, I know
certainty.
that. I do. Because we created equations. Everything just happens.
Well, the equations
We're-
that we created
try to make
are
sense
measurements of.
We try to make sense of it by saying it's an equation. Okay, yeah, it's an equation. Trust me, I know about equations. You know what I'm saying? But it still doesn't really capture the essence of the creation of this universe. It's just an equation. It's just for our logical left brains to try to make sense of this when it's like so much more deeper than a simple equation.
It's a 3D equation.
Like it's
There's
so
no
much,
such thing as
there's really no such thing as an equation, but we try to make sense out of it by creating equations so we can do our basic ass technology
equations
shit.
are just they're just measurements of what we're observing. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Right.
I mean, it's the thing is what it is, and we're giving it terms so that we can understand it. That's what it is. But it's not like we're not inventing equations as much as we are codifying the existing framework that the universe has already placed.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we are seeing an incomplete part of the picture.
Exactly.
So
but
maybe,
you're saying like
I'm saying
artificial
maybe
intelligence.
with a complete picture you could transcend the universe. We don't know. We don't know so much about the universe. Imagine if you had all the knowledge of like why this place is the way it is, what it is, the larger picture. Who's to say you couldn't transcend the larger part? You don't know that because it might find a hack in the code of a way to, if I just manipulate these variables and these resources, then I go through this black hole and I can fucking transcend. You don't know that. I'm just throwing that out there as devil's advocate. I'm not saying that for sure.
And I'm being a devil's advocate back, saying that like it's still trying to quantify the unquantifiable.
Who's to
can't do
say it's
that.
unquantifiable though? Maybe with unlimited time and resources you could quantify it.
But maybe you can't.
Maybe you can't. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's infinity, man.
There's two sides to the coin. You know, at the end of the day, it's like
Still the same coin.
Yeah, exactly. But also it's like it hasn't been done yet, and like we've been on this planet for a very, very long time as a species, and we still haven't broken this so-called, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't think we're anywhere near that. I'm just saying like the AI can accelerate at a rate that literally decades to centuries of technological progress can be made in days with an AI of that level of intelligence. So we're talking about a rate that we've never seen before in terms of just information processing, technological advancement, and general knowledge just being accumulated at a rate so rapid that no human beings ever could do that, could ever see all the ways that things are connected and in the ways that all of these things are interdependent. And we as human beings can't even fucking fathom 100,000. That number is already too big for me. But an AI can. They can factor that no problem. That's like an easy thing for it to do simultaneously. It could just have all these processes where it just understands everything. And so I guess that's my point, is that who's to say with something that has that kind of ability to genuinely be able to factor in, and the wind was 7 miles per hour over in Tampa, and in Chicago it was 37 degrees, and like it has all of that information all at once and is able to factor all that in. Who's to say with that kind of information that you wouldn't really know quite a bit more about how this fucking planet works, how the universe works, etc.?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that you wouldn't? Because we get a small little sliver, dude. We get wherever the fuck we're at and what our mental abilities are based on what we've learned in school and what we've learned through our experiences. And so when we're looking at something, we only have this little fucking sliver to even just analyze the vast amount of data in front of us. But an AI is not limited by any of those things. It can continually get better. It can continually take more information, and it can continually see the connections drawn between all of these variables in a way that's so creative and so ingenious that no human being ever could have made those connections, because it couldn't have even thought of even half of the variables that this thing can consider in any given moment.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but it'll still never have a soul. Still never have a soul.
I love it, dude. Such a simple answer. But
Yeah.
All right.
It'll still never have a
Yeah,
soul.
that's
I mean,
fair.
at the end of the day, once it's dead, it's dead. There's no afterlife for it. That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, once it's dead, a solar flare can shoot this Earth, and that thing is wiped to pieces, and there's nothing after that. You know, we experience life after this life. That thing is just, it's non-existent after. You know, but artificial intelligence, I feel like, will really be helpful if it's designed with
it's
the
at
right
least gonna be-
intentions.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole other question, man. We got these big-ass companies all trying to vie for AI, and whoever wins fucking wins. First person who has an AI can just then cheat everyone else out of winning. You know what I mean? That AI could be then so smart that it's like, oh yeah, we can bankrupt this company if we just do this stock, move this around, sell this, have this fake news story come out. Like, it could just plan this on a chess level game of like 64-dimensional chess. And it could just be like, yeah, I'm just going to bankrupt these companies, and we're going to fuck over that family and this guy. And it could do this shit, and it could just become this fucking evil thing. So with the wrong intentions, I do think the AI could be a very devastating bad.
Yeah, no, that can be bad, but I'm going to tell you right now, like...
It's all distraction from
like,
yourself.
sure, this artificial intelligence thing that you can speak about, I'm not trying to, like, go on about this artificial, but it's interesting.
Mhm.
But, like, even if it did get to that level of skill, and, like, it was able to take over the world and kill off humanity... Like,
I'm not saying that would be its goal. I'm saying that creators would want to selfishly keep their company at the top. Oh, hey, I figured it out first, and so now I'm going to be the #1 company forever with $7,000 trillion. I'm going to pay my workers nothing, and that's just what.
but trust me,
capitalism is.
like, that artificial intelligence isn't connected to the source at like we are, like I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that even if it were to kill me, I know that I'm not actually gonna die. You know what I'm saying? It can kill this body, but I'm going right back up, and I'm coming right back down in another form to wreak havoc because I'm connected to the creator. You know what I'm saying? That thing is just, it's here. It's stuck here.
Reincarnation.
Yeah, and even then, I don't even need to come back as like a person. I'll come back as like a straight up solar flare. I'll come back as a tidal wave. I'll come back as like chaos on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what my energy is. You know what I'm saying? Energy just transmutes. It doesn't never really dies.
Matter cannot be created nor destroyed.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, it's like, I'm not too attached to this life. That thing could, like, sure, it can destroy this body or whatever. I don't really care, because I'm going to come back 100 times way more harder to where that I just snap that like a little piece of twig. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the creator on my side. That thing doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. But I respect, I do respect their attempt to try to progress civilization through artificial intelligence. I'm not gonna downplay it. I'm just saying, don't value that more than a human soul. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
And I think our society doesn't value human souls, period.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I mean,
like,
it's-
don't value
it's a
this
sickness
artificial.
that I think we have in
Don't start
general.
fucking these artificial intelligence things and valuing it more than human souls, because that's very sacred. Like, even like there were hieroglyphics and ancient writings on the walls about like how sacred the human soul was, and what we went through
That's
to
why
get
they
to this
built
state.
the pyramids with slaves.
Yeah. I mean, we don't. I mean, that's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. But you know, there's like, this shit goes so deep. Like, at the end of the day, all you gotta worry about is just getting yourself right. Like, get back to nature. Just, you know, realign yourself with yourself, and then you'll be fine. You know. Other than that, like,
yeah,
don't
all
worry.
that shit's a distraction.
Yeah, don't worry about all this outside stuff, like artificial intelligence, nuclear weapons, all that shit. Like, that shit got nothing to do with you. Just worry about getting yourself right, and then you'll be good. That's it.
Nothing to
know
do
what I'm
with
saying?
you.
And then we'll start a ripple effect, man.
It really will.
Fix yourself, and then you start fixing your friends, and then you start fixing your family, and you start fixing your neighborhood, and then your community,
Yeah.
and your city, and
Yeah. Everything that we're
builds
talking
outwards.
about is like at the end of the day, like, to the listener, just get yourself right. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about like these other like things. Don't worry about like the pyramids. Don't worry about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You are your
Take your
own.
10%, man. Take your 10%. What a Brad just said.
Yeah. I mean,
For real.
I know what I'm saying. I know I'm very careful with what I say because I know my thoughts. Like, you get to a level, let me explain this. You get to a level of your awareness where, like, if you can ascend high enough, deities will come around you and they will watch you closely. Not just watch your action, but they'll watch your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? My thoughts are not hidden. They are being watched. Just having hate for someone in the eyes of an ancestor is the same level as murdering someone else. So you can't have hate. You can't hold on to hate. You have to let things go. You have to have a light heart, because once you get to a level of awareness, your thoughts become not your thoughts. They are watched and they are judged. You don't need a judge. You're your own judge. You know what I'm saying? You know in your soul the universal laws. You know not to waste water. You know not to just use a bunch of fucking toilet paper to wipe your ass with. You know what I'm saying? Be resourceful. Don't waste water. Respect nature. Don't be like throwing bags of fucking Happy Meals out your fucking window after you eat. These are universal basic laws. And
yeah, dude, I remember reading that one law about McDonald's.
Yeah. It's just like, like I've had friends, and it was never cool to me that they would eat their McDonald's and just chuck that shit out the window. Like,
yeah.
You know in your soul that's
fucked. I mean, that's just
when your
lazy
soul
as
that's
fuck.
stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're just like fucking
that's wasteful for no reason.
when you're taking hour-long showers, you know that's not right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's people that go and walk miles and miles and miles and miles just to get a gallon of water, and you're sitting here fucking showering yourself in gallons of water, and then you shit in the fucking toilet, another gallons of water. Like, wasting water is a universal law. You gotta treat the water as sacred. Water is the essence of life. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to a certain level of awareness, you see these things, you feel these things, you feel your footprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just like blow your nose with a bunch of paper towels and throw them away like they're nothing. Like, I'm recycling. You know what I'm saying? I'm like doing things that I'm planting seeds. Or I'm actually trying to plant seeds. But like I'm living organically. I'm not
Giving back.
Yeah, I'm giving back to the world. You know what I'm saying? Everyone wants to take, accumulate. But they never think about giving back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole opposite thing too. Like, we're brought up in a society. I want you to accumulate when it's about actually giving back, because you were given this life and you can have it taken away. So you got to give back and appreciate what you're given at the end of the day.
Hell yeah, man!
Gotta say.
I think that's a good part to stop it at, man. Because I agree. I think we need to start thinking about giving back more, and in return, you will get a lot back to you.
Yeah,
it's
it works
not
hand
like
in hand.
It's not like you're just giving and just give away your whole house and give away all your items. It's like, no, you give away certain things, and whether it's your time or it could be resources or it could be objects, you will get shit back. Yeah. I gave away my sunglasses today to the planet, and in return, another nice woman who was like, thought she found my sunglasses, ended up getting a nice pair that washed up on the shore for her.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it just works out that way. But, thanks for coming on, guys, and I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
All right, man. Peace.
Straight up.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to the podcast. If you want to see any more content or anything else that I make, check me out at CosmicKev94 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.